Welcome back to episode 16 of the Searley Talks Warriors podcast, brought to you by Ortex Industries. On today's show, we're joined by our starting winger, Marcelo Montoya. Marcelo, cheers for jumping on to have a yarn, bro.
Cheers, silly brother. Thanks for having me on the show. Looking forward to it, man. I've just obviously seen how much work you've done with the boys, so looking forward to it, brother.
Man, appreciate it. Let's kick things off with how it all started for you, bro, because you have a pretty cool story. Born in Fiji, can you tell us a bit about your upbringing?
Yeah, no worries. So obviously born in Fiji, and then we moved over to Oz when I was 2 years old, or 2 or 3 years old. And obviously my old man is Chilean, my mum is Fijian, so that's where the Fijian side comes from. But we moved to Australia from when I was a young kid, and obviously grew up out west in Sydney, and then now I'm at the Warriors. So it's been quite a ride so far. But enjoying it.
That's unreal. And you mentioned you moved to Aussie as a young lad. How did you get introduced to rugby league, bro? And did you play any other sports growing up?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of four boys in the family, and I guess growing up, rugby league was just something that we did, and it was something that my bros always played. It was probably the only sport I only played when I was young, and I started at a young age as well. I started playing when I was 5 years old, and I'm 26 now. So I've like my whole life, everything's been footy. I guess being about footy growing up. So yeah.
Yeah, that's mad. And you're obviously pretty good, bro, because you've been in the Bulldogs system since kind of Harold Matts, then NYC. So how did you first get noticed by the Doggies, and how old were you when you first got into their system?
Yeah, so I kind of moved up further. So I grew up in Campbelltown in Sydney, and then me and my mum, we moved to Fairfield. It's kind of a bit closer to Bankstown, and that was a Bulldogs comp. I met a few of my close friends that I'm still kind of close with now that played at a junior club there at the Bankstown Bulls, which was a junior feeder club for the Canterbury Bulldogs. So I moved out there. I played out there since I was 15, and then 15, 16, I was lucky enough to get I guess chosen in the development squad from a young age, and then kind of just went through the system as I got older. It was hard work though, but it was all worth it in the end.
And you carved up the NYC comp as well, 46 games, 36 tries, and you captained the side as well before being promoted to the top side at the end of the 2016 season. How did those first few weeks of training with the first grade side go, bro? I can imagine it was a bit of a step up for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's never easy, I guess, going from playing NYC into playing, obviously going full time with the NRL squad. But I was kind of lucky the way I transitioned. I was working as a part-time teacher's aide as well as studying and training with the NYC squad. But I was lucky enough to get called in a few days here and there to fill in with the first grade squad when they needed a few boys to fill in. So I kind of knew my job and knew how intense the first grade training was. So I guess my transition was fairly okay. I mean, at the Bulldogs at the time, and he's not there anymore, but one of my trainers there, his name was Gary Carden, and he was our strength and conditioner trainer. And I think he was there. I think his last year was 2020, maybe, or even 2019, but he was there for like over 30 years, and he was very old school in the way he trained the boys. So in terms of the transition, it wasn't that hard because he kind of instilled the hard work into me when I was a young kid. So I kind of knew what I was running into when I went up to the first grade squad. Yeah.
A pretty cool story. You actually made your international debut before your first grade debut, October 2016 against Samoa. And I think Bunty made his debut for Samoa in that same game. So how was that experience, bro? Representing Fiji and scoring a try, just winning the game 20-18.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was something that I wasn't expecting, but obviously, as I was coming through the grades as well, I was playing for the junior Fiji squads, and I kind of knew a few people in that area, and they kind of were watching me from a young age as well. So that was a smooth transition. But in saying that as well, it was kind of I guess daunting because I hadn't played NRL yet. I did play a fair few New South Wales Cup games, but in saying that, I never played at the top level, but I was versing players that have played a lot of top level games. So I had to adapt real quickly, and yeah, it was just a real privilege and honor to play for my country in 2016. It was awesome. And then obviously you said Bunty. When I actually came to the Warriors, Bunty brought that up to me where we played our first test match against each other. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's unreal. And then March 2017, you made your NRL debut, ironically against the Warriors in Dunedin.
Yeah,
Unfortunately for
yeah,
us, you scored a try and helped the Doggies get a
yeah,
win, 24 to
yeah,
12. And in doing so, you became the first player from Chile to ever play in the NRL. How was that
yeah,
experience, bro? Making your NRL debut? I can imagine it was a pretty proud moment for you.
yeah, for sure, for sure. And with that, like I never really looked into being the first Chilean player to ever play. I think when you're young, you just want to play NRL, and that was my number one goal. And to obviously make that dream come true in 2017 was very special for myself and my family. Obviously against the Warriors, but it was, for me, it was a special night. I was marking Big Manu there, and he unfortunately for himself, he got injured that game, and then they put Big Kenny out there. So like for me, it was daunting as it was, but it was a dream come true. Unfortunately for the Warriors, we got the win that day, but I'm just grateful to be at the club now. So look, it's crazy how things happen in rugby league, but in saying that, yeah, it's been good for me so far.
For sure. And in your debut game, bro, I ask all the boys this. Did you have like a welcome to the NRL moment, like maybe a carry or something where you thought, shit, I'm in
Yeah,
first grade now?
yeah. It would have been my second carry, or maybe even my first carry. I ran into Bully. I went to Isaac Luke,
Oh,
and he folded me, hit me low, and I got a little hit point, like they call it hit point injury, and that was my first. Or would have been my first second carry. So it was like, here you go, young kid, welcome to NRL. But in saying that, it's yeah, I mean it's awesome because that's all you want to do. You want to play NRL, and I guess the first players like that is pretty special. And obviously now with me being at the Warriors, I'm obviously playing with Sean, and Sean was there back then playing for the Warriors. So it's pretty cool, to see where, just like I said before, to see where rugby league takes you.
and still on 2017, and you mentioned Sean there. You guys actually pulled off a pretty historic win for Fiji that year in the Rugby League World Cup, beating the Kiwis. How was that,
Yeah,
bro? Coming to New Zealand, beating the Kiwis on home soil, and probably one of the biggest upsets at the time.
yeah. It was obviously it was like it was unexpected, but in saying that, we like you just never know what to expect from a Fijian team. I guess we throw the footy around. But on that day, like in particular, I think our defense was a standout, and obviously versus like the Kiwis, I think Roger was at the back. They had Dow on the wings. I think with Jordan Rapana, so they had a great team.
Yeah.
They probably obviously weren't playing their best footy at the time, and obviously down in confidence. But I think for Fiji, it was massive, and it was massive for myself to be involved in a game like that. But yeah, it was obviously a very special moment.
And back to club footy now, bro. Over the next couple of years, you found yourself in and out of the Dogs side, and you actually had a pretty bad leg injury too. And then at the end of the 2020 season, you announced you're leaving the Bulldogs after playing 54 games for them. So how did you find your time at the Doggies? And do you have like a highlight memory from your time there?
Yeah, I mean, I think like any kind of player that started at a club and had to leave, you always have a soft spot for the place. The Bulldogs was a great time for myself and my family. I can't I guess thank them enough for everything they've done for myself. In terms of a player and learning more about myself, and I think that's what I did there. I went there. Obviously, I went there from a young age, and I got to come up through the grades. It's a great club, the Bulldogs, and like we did a tough when I was there, and they're still doing a bit tough now, but they're going to get better for it. But I learned a lot about myself. I went through a tough time there after my injury, and I was probably in a dark place. I probably, in terms of footy, I didn't want to play anymore. And after that year in 2020, I was kind of offered. I didn't want to play. I was lucky that the Warriors even put their hand up to give me a contract. So yeah, I'm very grateful for the Warriors, for giving me this opportunity to play, and obviously to give that love back to me again about footy, because towards the back end of 2020 there, I didn't really want to play anymore in terms of my injury and where I was at mentally. But, I guess after signing with the Warriors, it kind of gave me a different perspective of footy again, and just helped me appreciate the little things about what I do.
It's unreal. And let's talk about the Warriors, bro, because as you mentioned, you signed with the club and joined the likes of Adam, Ewan, and Ben Murdoch-Masila as just a few to join in that 2020 off-season. So what was it about the Warriors that attracted you to join the club?
Well, to be fair, I didn't really have any other options. And for myself, I was just grateful to get the opportunity. Silly, I wasn't, for myself, I'm not that kind of player that's gonna, I guess, attract clubs in terms of doing something special in the field. But I've always kind of worked really hard and try to make my teammates better around me. That's something that I think I do very well. And I guess with the Warriors, it's like just hearing about the club and obviously the sacrifices that they've made back then, just for us to get paid in the NRL, that was obviously massive for myself and a big one for me and my partner. We're engaged, we get married this year, but we have no kids, so that was something that was comfortable for us to make the move. And yeah, look, I'm so grateful for the club, obviously with Cam, and I know when Sully was there, obviously Brownie's gone now, but those are the guys that kind of got me to the club. So I'm very grateful. I love the club. I know what the club stands for, and that's everything I stand for. So, to be honest, City, I just want the club to be successful. That's it. And I know we'll get there. 100% we'll get there. We just got to keep working hard.
Unreal to hear. And what do you think have been the biggest differences, bro, between the Bulldogs setup and the Warriors setup?
I think for myself, it was about myself getting out of a bit of a comfort zone. I think at the Bulldogs, I was there for a long time, and I just kind of got a bit comfortable and knowing that, this was my space and this was this. But stepping out, it's a very similar, I guess, sentence, in terms of the club. They're very similar. I think the Warriors, I know the Bulldogs, they call it the family club, but when, when I signed with the Warriors, it's probably that as well. I think the very similar clubs, in terms of family, and the Warriors are all about that. And that's what I love. It's obviously about footy, and footy is about results, and it's a business. But in saying that, they always look after your family, and that's something I was massive on. And, that's why I love the joint. It's, it's just a great place to be. When you're not winning games, it's hard, obviously hard on the player and mentally, but, the club's it's such a good place. You just want to do good for the joint. You want the place to go well because they've got good people around it. You know what I mean? So I just want the club to go well.
Sure. And you've played a mix of centre and wing throughout your career. Is there one position you enjoy more than the other, bro, or do you not mind either way?
Yeah. Oh, look, I don't mind, what's where coach puts me, just as long as it's what's best for the team. But personally, I love playing on the wing. I enjoy playing there, and I think I understand my job a bit better playing on the wing. I think I'm a winger all out, to be honest. I probably haven't got the skill set to play in the centres, to be honest. But if I have to do a job there, I'll do a job there for sure. But I do enjoy playing on the wing. And I think that's where I add the best value.
And you're known as a fast and powerful athlete, and the role of the wing has changed a bit more recently with those yardage carries. So are they something you enjoy, bro? Because I always see you flying in full speed, never handbrake.
Yeah. So, just like I said before, I don't mind the contact. I think that's what I guess gets me into the game. I love that kind of stuff. I love the dirty work. I love the yardage carries. And I think when I'm playing well, I'm getting in there, getting involved early for the boys, and just trying to get a quick play of the ball for the forwards, to lay that platform for our halves. So I enjoy the contact. Just as long as the body can keep taking it, I'll keep doing it.
That's the one. And a few of the lads have mentioned you're a bit of a hype man around the team as well. You bring a bit of energy. So is that something you try to do, bro? Bring a bit of fizz to help get the lads up each day?
Yeah, 100%. I think, I think naturally it's just in my personality. I like seeing boys every day. I like seeing the boys happy, and I just guess for myself, when I'm having a hard day, I just know that when I go into training and see the boys, we get another opportunity every week to try to get a win, and to we're living our dream, there's nothing to be upset about. I know we're losing at the moment, but in saying that, there's a lot of people out there doing it worse than us. We get to wake up every morning and pass a footy and get paid to do it. We get paid to stay fit. We get paid to do what we did when we were young. When you're younger, you play because it's fun and you love doing it. And then to get paid for it, it's special. So we can't complain about those things. I enjoy being around the boys, and just seeing the boys smile or making the boys smile makes me happy.
Great. And in just a couple of weeks' time, the Warriors will finally come back to Mount Smart and play their first game at home in about 3 seasons. So are you excited to head over? And what have the Kiwi lads told you about playing at home for the Warriors at Mount Smart?
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it, and I think just after speaking to a few of the boys, they're just saying that it's a special feeling. And I think just to not be there for so long and to go back now, like I haven't even, it's crazy. Like I signed at the Warriors. I haven't even been to New Zealand yet, to stay. I've been there, to see family and stuff, but I've never like been there in terms of me signing at the Warriors. Or so I'm looking forward to it. My partner's looking forward to it. Yeah, I can't even, say how excited I am to get back to see the fans, to give back to them. They've obviously, like, the players have sacrificed a lot, but the fans, we haven't had, like a home fan base in a few years. So look, man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually really excited for it. So I can't wait to get back there and to run out on Mount Smart.
We can't wait to have you back, bro. And let's touch on last
Yeah.
weekend quickly. A tough loss against the Sharks
Yeah.
after a great start to both halves and plenty of positive signs for us fans. What do you think were the key takeaways from the game for the lads? And where do you think it kind of got away from us?
Yeah, for sure. Like you look at our squad and you see, I guess, yeah, we're a young squad, but I think we've got some good old heads around us in terms of experience. And we might lack experience, but I guess the performances don't reflect how hard we've worked in the preseason, and I guess that's the frustrating thing for myself. But if you watch the first, I guess, 15 and 20 minutes of the game last week, you could see how we kind of got into a good cycle there with just sticking to what Stacey's put it like in front of us. With being just real simple with our footy, and when we do those things, we look like such a good team, but we just let ourselves down with those, with whether it's a piggyback penalty or whether it's one of those leg out errors, like those unforced errors we do, like whether we kick it out in the full or we drop it off a scrum, things like that, and it happens in clumps. So we spoke about that as a team and what we need to do, and once individuals get those right, and once we take those errors out of the game, that's going to put us into a position to play a full 80 minutes, without dropping the ball and making those errors. So we just got to stay positive about that and keep working hard, because it's only one way. It's up for the Warriors. We just got to keep working hard and we'll get a few wins for sure.
For sure, bro. I believe that 100. And you mentioned Stacey,
Yeah.
bro. It was only his first game in charge, so still early days. But how have you found
Yeah.
working with him, bro? Bit of a club legend and one of the greats of the game.
Yeah, well, I guess if you're a fan of rugby league like myself, you hear Stacey Jones and you just think, legend. Like, just the way he used to play the game. Obviously, he was a very special player for the Warriors. And, to see how sad it was for Brownie to leave and say, no, it was a special moment for Stace. He's a good person, Stace. Like, he obviously knows his rugby league and he's a very smart coach in terms of his attacking stuff. And, he's I think personally he's going to be good for the club. He's going to be good for the boys. I know like it's hard for Brownie to leave and the way he left, but, I'm so happy for Stacey because he's a great person. He's a legend of the club, obviously. And, he's got all the boys' respect and all the boys back him 100%.
That's the one. And taking on Penrith this weekend, what do you reckon will be the keys to a strong performance up against them? They're a pretty sharp side.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Yeah. But obviously the Premiers, so it's no slouch there. We obviously got to pull our fingers out. It's going to be a tough game. There's no doubt about that. And like I said before, if we just focus on that 15, 20-minute block we had and turn it into, a 60, 80-minute block, that's going to put us in good stead of us playing some good football. We can't afford, well, no one can afford to make errors in the NRL, but, it happens. It's footy, it's NRL. Like, you're going to make a mistake. But with us, we make it in clumps, or we make it's more a silly error. So if we just hold the footy and complete our sets and stick to our game plan that Stace gives us, we'll put ourselves in a good position to play some good footy.
And exciting to see before young walkman named in the 6th jersey. What can us Warriors fans expect to see from him, bro? Because he's not a player we've seen a lot from before. Yeah,
for sure. We'll see for myself as well. I haven't seen Ronald play much football, but there's a lot of excitement around him. Ronald's a really good kid. He's obviously come from a good system at the Roosters, but in saying that, his opportunities come now to play in a row, and I think he'll only do like a great job for that jersey. He's obviously very humbled to get the jersey, but just the talks around him, especially he does some special things at training. He's a very skillful player. So, I'm looking forward to him. Obviously making his NRL debut, but also making his debut at the Warriors. It's special for him. I know how special it is to make that, to make your debut. So, we'll be working really hard to make sure we get a win for Ronnie on the weekend. Yeah.
Interesting. And let's rip into some quick fire stuff, bro. A bit more casual now.
Yeah.
Who's one player, past or present, you'd most like to play with in the NRL?
One player, past and that's a good question. I don't know. Like someone that was a tough player. Like I don't know, someone like probably Andrew Ryan. Someone that just did the 1%ers right. Like I could hear a lot of the boys speak about I guess Simon Mannering when he was at the Warriors, and like I like playing with players like that. They just, for me, like they give me confidence. Like seeing what they do every week, and no one really talks about them that much, but they're the players that I would have loved to play with. Like someone like that, they just every week do their job and are just consistent at doing their job. That's probably someone I would have loved to play with. Yeah, Andrew Ryan or someone like Simon Mannering, something like that.
The workhorses, Rate it.
100%, yeah.
And what are your favourite things to do outside of footy, bro?
Yeah, so outside of footy, obviously like spending time with my partner. We like going out and I guess going out and checking out some new restaurants out here in Brisbane. We enjoy spending time together. Or if it's not with my missus, it's obviously with our families if we're not back in Sydney. But other than that, just the boys. So yeah, I keep the circle pretty tight. It's either with the boys or my partner or family. So yeah, I do enjoy spending time with those people.
And do you have any pre-game routines or superstitions, bro? Anything weird you have to do before a game?
I think when I was a bit younger, like in my career, I did do things a certain way. But now, I think as you get a bit older, you kind of get used to just prepping for a game. But the night before a game, I do like to eat pasta if someone calls that a superstition. But I also, like back when I first started off in the NRL, I used to always put my left sock on first and my right sock on second. But now it doesn't really matter which sock I put on first. I think you just kind of get used to doing things that work. But yeah, I'm pretty cruisy now, bro. I think before I was pretty bad, silly, but now I'm pretty cruisy.
You don't want too many, They can give you the head noise.
Nah, yeah, 100%. They give you head noise, yeah.
And who's the biggest joker or pest in the team, bro? I got to say your name came up for the joker, but I think you'll probably say the person everyone else says as well.
Yeah, for sure. Just like you said before, I like to bring a lot of energy and stuff like that. But I do give a bit myself as well. But I think the one pest, which is, I don't know if I'll get it as right as much as the other boys, is probably Tohu, like our captain. 100%. And me and him and me and Bangs have a pretty good relationship. But he's a pest. He's obviously very experienced, and I've got a lot of respect for Tohu and what he's done. But mate, he's a pest. He's a low key pest. And he comes at you. He nibbles at you. He knows how to get at you. So yeah, it's Tohu for sure. Yeah.
Jazz will be happy to get the week off. He's been the one, bro.
Jazz, yeah. Nah, Tohu's a pest. He is.
And if you were going to be stuck on a deserted island with 3 Warriors boys, who would you want them to be and why?
3 Warriors boys on an island. Jazz, one will be Jazz, because I know that he'll be he'll do anything because he likes his food. He'll get hungry, so he can do the hunting for me. Yeah. I'll eat all his food, and then I'll Adam as well, because I think Adam, Adam's is funny. He'll keep you upbeat. You'd probably be depressed because you're on an island, deserted island, but at least he'll keep you upbeat.
Yeah.
And one more, and then last one will probably be Rocco Berry, just so I can spray him on the island. Because you probably know Rock, he's real quiet, but I do spray him a lot. I do get into him, and he's actually a bit chirpy as well. So no one knows that he's a quiet boy, but I'll be spraying him just for something to do. So those 3 boys, I reckon.
That's the one. And a few listeners sent through some questions, bro. We'll bang those out. Yeah. The first one's from Hudson Pollock, and he says, who's the last person you'd want to run it straight at the Warriors?
The last person I'd want to run it straight at the Warriors. So, see, because Lodgie's gone, so I wouldn't want to run at Lodgie. He folded me in preseason a few times, but
Oh no.
probably I don't know, man. I don't know, man. There's a young man, like one of the young boys. He actually has a good late dip in Nella, and he's got me a few times.
Yeah.
He's played, yeah. So I reckon Nella. Yeah, would have run out Nella.
Nice. And Warriors NRL Fanatic says, what's your favorite food or meal?
My favorite food or meal would be pizza, Italian authentic pizza. I love enjoying that with a bit of red. So yeah,
Good combo, bro, for sure.
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
And which teammate would you least want to share a room with?
Rocco. Yeah, like I'd share a house with him, but not the same room because he's filthy. He's dirty. He doesn't care about his space. You know, he's dirty. Yeah, he'll be Rocco. He's young boys. You know, they don't look after themselves. They don't clean. So yeah, it'll be Rocco.
Shit, Rocco's copping it. He was on here. He was all
Yeah,
shy and all reserved,
yeah,
making it out like, yeah.
yeah. Of course he was. Yeah, of course. But once he has a few beers, you see the true colours come out of Rocco. So
I
yeah.
rate that. And then the final one, what gives you the strength to always run 110%, whether it's the first or the 80th minute?
I think for me, now I kind of got a bit clearer view of it is just for my teammates. I mean, and like, you know, like I think about, you know, my mate that's going to take that next carry, or, you know, the halves getting a good, you know, like a good quick play the ball. So I just think about my teammates. You know, it's a selfless act. You know, I mean, it's part of why I play footy, because I enjoy playing the team sport. But you know, that I guess just for my teammate, like I'm constantly thinking about, you know, my mate that's going to take the carry next. You know, like he doesn't want to take a carry off a slow play the ball because then the defensive line's obviously set. You know, and obviously it just depends on the game plan. But yeah, I just love the contact, and yeah, I guess just for my teammates, just a selfless act.
True team man, bro. Rate it.
Yeah.
Well,
Shut
that's
my
all
bro.
I've got, bro. So thanks for jumping on and
Yeah.
telling us a bit about your journey, and all the best for this weekend. Can't wait to see you and the lads ripping on Saturday and watch you in person in a couple of weeks' time at Mount Smart. Going to be unreal.
Yeah, it's going to be unreal. Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me on, Searley. Really appreciate it, mate. We had a good chat, mate, and I appreciate it. I'll see you in 2 weeks' time, mate.
Legend, bro. Thank you.
See you, bro.